All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. I'd also like to give double honors to my elders and apostles at Great Millstone that do well. And I would like to say peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopeful elect in 1/3. And Lord's, with this lesson will be edifying as well as exhorting to the sincere sheep of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, and the Wadiyah, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, for giving me the inspiration to do this lesson. And as the title reads, Jesus ain't coming, Jake. All right. And pretty much this is going to be going into the recent event that just happened pertaining to that Gentile Israelite mother, female Israelite that Esau murdered, as well as going into a video I just saw of another Gentile Israelite. All right. Eve. Okay. Pretty much having her eyes open to the importance of having a man in these last days. Okay. And, one thing I was going to title this lesson is Prophecy is an Eye Opener. Could be a lesson later down the road, but I originally was going to title it Prophecy is going to be an Eye Opener. But the last words from this, this Gentile mindset Israelite woman, okay, she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. But right after that, she was murdered by Esau. Okay, so this is an omen to show you that Jacob's trouble is going to be exactly that, Jacob in trouble. And the gods that Jake has been set up to choose are not going to deliver them in the time of their trouble and their calling to that God. All right, and the true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and the true name of the only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ, true name is Yahweh Shai. And, Yahweh Shai is coming to deliver us, to protect us, and to keep us. And we have that belief through faith in the name of Yahweh Shai and not in the name of Jesus. So what I want to do, let me check the audio real quick. All right. What I want to do is I want to show you this video. All right. I was on the brother's page. Let me just go like this. Let's let this play. 3-minute clip. Let's check this out.
I'm going to say this real quick, and people ain't got to agree with me. People can sit on the internet and try to drag me. I do not care, but I'm going to die on a hill on this one. So guess what? Rest in peace. And her son being harassed inside of a movie theater by one of them. Okay. And to the point where that lady got physical with that black woman. And hear me when I say this, whether I don't know if that woman got a man or not, but with everything that's going on right now, I'm really starting to realize the value of having a man in the house.
Boom. See that? Prophecy is an eye opener. Okay. While Jake was getting drunk off Babylon, while Jake was sucking on the teats of Babylon. And when I say Jake, I mean male and female. Jake and Jakeette, so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, male and female, okay? And one thing that I've noticed, which this lesson isn't about women, but this is going to address the statements that this Israelite woman is making, whether she knows she's an Israelite or not. But this is the results of trusting and enjoying the serpent's juice, okay? You've lived off Babylon, and now as Babylon is starting to get shaky, okay, you're starting to see, you in the crosshairs of judgment. Now you realize that, oh, I do need a man. You see that? But not only a man of the Lord. Now, real quick, I don't got really nothing pulled up, but let's see what Isaiah 32 says really, really fast. Okay. Let me see. This is, or is it Isaiah 32? Let me see. Or 31. Let me see. A man as a covert. Or 32. Where am I at? 32. Oh, yeah. Right. I'm right here. Isaiah 32:2. It says, and a man shall be a hiding place from the wind. Wind also representing destruction. Okay. And a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. You see that? So in the days approaching, men of the Lord, you know, they're gonna look like this. Okay, they're gonna be sought after just like this. Okay, boom. All right, stoic, walking with faith, heading towards the kingdom, waiting on Yahweh Bashem El Shai, and Jake is gonna be blindsided by the Slayer. Okay, but blindsided by the Slayer. But this is what it takes. Okay, it takes the end of an age for the Gentile Israelite woman to see that she ultimately does need a man. But what you need is a man of the Lord if it's set up for you to come across that man of the Lord. There's going to be a lot of grievous death coming, okay, in the very near future. And we're seeing more videos, more testimonies of our people that are in a Gentile mindset starting to see what's happening, and the gears are turning that what they have been investing in is not ultimately for their betterment. You're going to start seeing Jake start to realize that Christianity and Jesus as well is not good for them. But if the Lord didn't set them up to receive it, they're gonna continue in that calling. Okay, but real quick, this is Romans 10 because they have a zeal. All right, Romans 10:2. For I bear them record, speaking about Israelites, I bear them record that they have a zeal of Yahweh, but not according to knowledge. So that zeal will keep Jake calling on a God, but lack of knowledge is why he's destroyed, because he's calling on a false God. Okay, Jesus is not coming, Jake. And when I say Jesus, you know exactly what I mean. Okay, right here, this Jesus. Okay, this Jesus. Okay. All right. Yahweh Shai is coming. Okay. See, this is what Jake in their mind, just like it's what you would call an unfortunate event, but according to biblical understanding, no one has ever perished being innocent. So like these Israelites right here, this is her son. I'm not sure if this is her husband, but I know her son and husband did make statements. But, you know, this is why it's important for you to understand life, death, and how things are operated right now in Babylon, because things seem messed up. Things seem off and wrong and evil and wicked, which they are. But you also have to understand that, you know, no one perishes without Yahweh Bashem El Shai say so. Okay. So in the same breath, even though they lost a loved one, you can be comforted by the scriptures of knowing ultimately who allowed it, and she's at rest. But also you'll know that Esau, the powers that be, the ones that are in power, okay, they're getting ready to receive judgment too. All right. So there's times where Jake gets judged by Esau, and it is a form of murder. Okay. And that's for Esau to be judged. But we don't know fellow Israelite situations. Okay. Could have been wicked in her past life, or could have been used like the Israelite in John 9, just for the work of the Lord to be manifest. Okay. Now, when you look her name up, which, you know, Thawadi Bashem El Shai, it's on my spirit at times. When you look up Sonia, it means wisdom. And when you look up Massey, it means gift from God. So we have been blessed with the wisdom and that faith, as well as a gift from Yahweh, to know what's going on and why it's happening. So we are not caught up in quote unquote emotions, so that we can soberly teach and edify in situations where most people will think irrational, think emotional, also believe in the Most High, but also at times in that same breath, maybe question him. So it's a very beautiful thing that the Lord has bestowed wisdom upon us, as well as the gift of faith, which Sonia Massey, that's what that name means, to understand in situations like this. But this is also a fan or two to keep the tension, the racial tension growing and growing higher. Okay. And in the same breath, I also want to say this. As we see certain Israelite women, okay, you got some Israelite sisters waking up, which is, of course, is a beautiful thing, just like first and foremost the brothers, right? Because the Most High's pastor is of men. But in the same breath, as we see maybe one or two Gentile mindset Israelite women, you know, acknowledging how the importance of a man, and not only of a man, but I have to say a man of the Lord, is important. In the same breath, you have hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars being raised by so-called black women or representing so-called black women for the Queen of Heaven. And all they are for is just their women and their mothers and their daughters and their children. And they're still not for the man or the Israelite man at that. Okay. How 44,000 beautiful black women galvanize support for Kamala Harris on Sunday. You see? So in the same breath, we can say, wow, but then wickedness trumps righteousness in a vast number as we see playing out day to day. We need to defend our sisterhood everywhere. And let's just be honest, that even you few sincere sisters, you can admit there is no sisterhood. Okay. You may have, someone to speak to, but in the whole, there is no sisterhood. Okay, because it starts with the men. All right, the men bring order. Women cannot bring order that the Israelite men are gonna bring through Yahweh Bashim Shai, King David, and so on. So a lot of things are happening. Prophecy is an eye opener, and it's also a revealer. Okay, because when we see Esau using the Queen of Heaven, we see who's falling head over heels for it yet again. Okay, so if they can mobilize, in 4 hours for women, then that shows you right there that the mindset of the Israelite woman in 2024, it's not about women, but I am using this as an example because I'm using it for Jake overall. But this shows you that in 2024, your majority of the Israelite mindset of these women is not right. This is why the Lord said, my pastor is the flock of men. Okay. And we follow after hopeful elect elders, men of the Lord. All right. If you're following the woman, you will ultimately be destroyed. And this is why Isaiah 9 comes to mind. Let's get that real quick. Okay. So then you're following the woman who's following ultimately the serpent, unbeknownst to herself. Okay. And you're being led to a flock of slaughter. Isaiah 9:16. It says, for the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are what? Destroyed. Okay, they're ultimately destroyed. And we're seeing it play out right now. So let me go back to the video, just kind of jumping around. Lately been kind of doing various topics while sticking on topic, but there's just a lot going on. So, there's more than one thing that we can talk about at times pertaining to the prophecy that's approaching very, very quickly. Okay. And she's able to see it. Okay.
I'm really starting to realize that. I'm really starting to realize the value of what it is to have a man for protection. Because mind you, I've been on that whole masculine, I could do it all by myself. I could do it all on my own.
And who taught that? Who pushed that? The serpent. The serpent pushed that. You see, the serpent gave you Jesus. The serpent gave you independence. He gave you all these things, and you've been eating off of this tree. And now you see that this fruit that you've been eating off is death. See, Jesus ain't coming, Jake. Okay. The wine of Babylon is not for your betterment. It's to destroy you. Okay. This woman, her last words was, I rebuke you I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. See that? This was her last words before Esau did murder her. Okay. So, these things are keeping the fan of tension, division, and prophecy growing. But at the same time, as we're growing closer to the end, more eyes are being opened. Okay. And they're seeing the reality of things, because it's easy to not need or want a man for protection when you feel you're protected by a system. But now when this system is coming up against you, now you say, I need a man to protect me from this draconian system. But in the same breath, they use the system against us. You see? So Jacob's trouble is just going to be exactly that, very troublesome.
Blah, blah, blah. But really, we cannot. And I'm going to tell you something, and people do not have to agree with me, but if you really take time and look from a different perspective, if there was a man in that home with that Miss Massey that got just recently got gone away, if there was a man in the home, I promise you that man would have never let those police officers come into her home. he would have talked with them on the front porch.
True, or they would have just killed him, because that's the average norm in Babylon, is where the so-called black and brown man stands up as a defender, as a provider, and what happens? Okay, he goes to work, then he gets adultery gets committed on him, then his children get taken from him, then he's got to get put on child support. Or then if he is in that home and you haven't used the system against him, then what else happens? He does stand up for you. Then he gets shot 11 times. You see? So the only answer is ultimately Yahweh Bashim Shai. Okay? Because even having a man, if you don't have a man of the Lord, then it's all going to be down the drain. It's all going to be in vain. And Jake is starting to see this reality inch closer and closer to their everyday life. The party, okay, is getting ready to cease. All right. Now, I believe it's Ezekiel 21. Let me just put Slayer in, and I have to share this with you. Okay, let's go to Ezekiel. It's either 21 or 22. Slayer comes up quite a few times. All right, Ezekiel 21. I want to share this, okay? And see, once you learn the truth, depending on the growth of it, you'll be in this serious spirit right from the beginning. Okay, I like to laugh, I like to watch comedic relief, but at the end of the day, we do not push a vibration to the sheep as they're eating and being fed for edification. We don't push a laxical daisical spirit on you. There is a very severe spirit that is being taught to you, because the times that we are in are very crucial. Okay, so you now are witnessing our own people starting to realize basic necessities while living in Babylon. And that's what? Not to be a single woman gadding abroad. Something as simple as having a man now has become a revelation as the fucking world's ended. Okay, excuse my language, but that's really what you're seeing. Okay, this is Ezekiel 21, and Jesus ain't coming, Jake. Ezekiel 21:9, it says, son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be a sore slaughter. Okay, let's look this word slaughter up. And in the midst of that, Jake is going to be getting slaughtered, calling on Jesus. Slaughter means slaughter, butcher. There it is. Kill ruthlessly. Okay, and that's exactly what Esau is going to do through a great culling. Okay, and he's got majority of our people, I'll say loosely. Okay, but for edification's sake, our people, he's got them being led as a flock to the slaughter. And this is all Queen of Heaven. This is all Queen of Heaven. Okay. There's a few scenarios that can play out with this. Not really on my spirit to, I guess, go into it, because at the end of the day, prophecy is going to trump whoever's elected, no pun intended, but it will. But you have to realize modern day woman worship is worshiping the Queen of Heaven demon. And the mere fact that you have people, Israelite women or women in general, rounding up and pushing in this vibration, this is a high level witchcraft. To put a woman up over a man is the epitome of going against Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, Baphomet, things of that nature. So in the same breath, I got to say it again, we can see, small remnants of our people waking up, but the majority are on the other side. Majority of our people are on the other side, and they're in for the rudest awakening known to man. So a slaughter, kill ruthlessly is coming. All right. And some could say, well, what happened to that Jake woman? That's a good example, or that's an omen. Okay. And it says, where are we at here? All right. It says, son of man, prophesies and say, thus saith the Lord, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod, my son, as every tree. So the point is, should we be making mirth right now? No, ever since the truth has been revealed to us, our lives have changed so dramatically that we carry ourselves in a very serious manner, because we understand we're behind enemy lines. We understand that there's a no day like it coming. We understand that the powers that be that are in power ultimately want their birthright back, and they have constructed a system through biblical prophecy that is set up against you, that when the light is green and told go, that's exactly what Esau is going to do. He's going to go on Jake, okay? He's going to ride on Jake, and in so much that he ain't even respecting Jake calling on Jesus as a form of waving the white flag. He's giving out headshots, okay? So in Jacob's trouble, you're going to hear your fellow people that are lost, that are ultimately what, 2/3, they're going to call on a false god that looks like the enemy that's killing them. So Jake is in the rudest awakening. And then in the midst of that, you're having small remnants of our people starting to understand what's really important. You see, there's a flip side to the coin, all right? Some shall be tried and made white, but the wicked will be wicked and not understand. This is why you got 44,000 women in 4 hours, getting together and formulating a small woman army to back up another woman, to put her in office to continue to push this Queen of Heaven vibration. And who's constantly on the back burner? The one that ultimately women are going to need in a time of trouble most, and that's the Israelite man of God, right? Doesn't it say the Israel of God? Okay. The Israelite man of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Okay.
So in my personal opinion, I believe they understood that she was a single black woman by herself, and they took advantage of that.
Of course. Let's get it. Isaiah 10. Look, the next chapter. We were just in Isaiah 9, right? Look at this. Now let's go to Isaiah 10. Going into also what? The Jacob's trouble in the mark of the beast. Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree an unrighteous decree, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. So the unrighteous decree that they're going to write into law is mandatory marking. And then you're going to have a lot of our people not knowing what to do. They're going to pray to Jesus, but Jesus ain't going to be able to tell them what to do, or Jesus might tell you to take it, because really you're talking to Satan. See, look, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. What did it say? I believe that they entered a house because they knew she didn't have a man. See that?
And they took advantage of that.
And that's what Esau's going to do. He's going to continue to take advantage of Jake's ignorance, meaning their unknowingness. Let's get an oldie but goldie, Hosea 4:6. Just getting what's coming to me real quick. Just trying to do a prophetic exhortation. This is Hosea 4:6. You see, we know this one. Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. So they're destroyed mentally, spiritually, physically, and they also are destroyed by the enemy. It says, because thou hast rejected knowledge, and then you could come by a camp and you hear the true name, but you still say what? Not my Jesus. I also will reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, starting with the men. See? Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children, starting with what? The sons. And this is the Jake is in a worst case scenario, because you're in a crooked captivity from a heathen, but you are not calling on your God. Okay? That's the problem. All right? Now, real quick, since I said that, let's go to Deuteronomy 8, and I'm going to show you the situation. Deuteronomy 8 and 19. It says, let's see, let's start at 18. It says, but thou, Israelites, but thou shall remember Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, right? We have to remember Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, okay? And it says, but thou shall remember Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, thy power, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto thy fathers, as it is this day. And it shall be, if thou do at all forget the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, thy power, and walk after other gods, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I'm just saying that's how Jake say it, right? After other gods, and serve them and worship them, I testify against you this day that ye shall surely perish. That's what happened. That's what happened. Okay. And we're going to witness this more and more and more. Okay. We have to realize the target in Jacob's trouble is exactly going to be that, Jacob. Okay. So things are happening round about us, and it's extremely important that we call on our God. Okay. Not a heathen God, our God. This is Deuteronomy. Okay. See, we're going into the law. We go into the law as well. Deuteronomy 11 and 16. Excuse me. Deuteronomy 11 and 16. It says, take heed to yourselves that your heart or your mind be not deceived. So even in Jacob's trouble, you're going to have to keep your mind on Yahweh Shemel Shai. You may only be saying Yahweh Shemel Shai in Jacob's trouble, and turn and ye, it says, and ye turn aside and serve other gods and worship them. See, and then the Lord's wrath be kindled against you. So when you call on the name of other gods, that's when the Lord's wrath is upon you. She said, I rebuke you. I watched this video. She said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And he said, and he pulled his sidearm out immediately. Okay. So them spirits were activated. She called on a false god and immediately suffered the consequences for that. Okay. So now let's go back. This is Deuteronomy 11 and 17. Okay. Let's get this real quick. Deuteronomy 11 and 17. It says, and then Yahweh Shemel Shai's wrath be kindled against you, and he shut up the heaven that there be no rain, and that the land yield not her fruit, unless ye perish quickly from off the good land which the Lord giveth you. So succession, prosperity, deliverance comes from our God, Yahweh Shemel Shai, but destruction, distress, and death comes from calling on the names of other gods, just like we see in this situation. Okay, a little more.
And they entered into her home. And she was vulnerable. She was scared to the point where you saw her get up and go into her kitchen because that's the only place where she was safe. But in my opinion, if there was...
But we don't know that, though. I mean, she went in there because the water was boiling and they didn't want to cause a fire. See, I'm telling you, you got to watch out for the emotional explanation when we see judgment taking place. Okay. I'm not taking away from the pain and suffering. The scriptures speak about mourning, but we now are in a position where we have to evaluate what's going on based off the Lord's will. Okay. Our emotions do not trump what Yahweh Shemel Shai is doing out here. And this is why you're going to see a lot of people in an emotional distress in the end of days or end of age because they're lacking the biblical knowledge that has been bestowed upon us so that we can collectively process the situations that are going down in front of us. Okay.
There's a man in that house.
True.
A man would have never let two men with firearms come into their home.
But we've been saying that for years, starting with our elders and apostles. Okay. We've been saying that for years, just like you hear the elders say it, even down to you sisters, you see you new believers, and you sisters shouldn't just be out here gadding abroad. Okay. You have men of the Lord out here. You have access to men of the Lord. All right. This isn't high school where we got to go up to you and, hey, no, your job. Hey, look, I'm single. I believe I'm in order. I'm trying to be. Here's my this. Here's my that. See, we're in a time where it's not gonna play out the way you think. Okay, you've been in Babylon too long. Isaiah 4:1 ain't gonna be happening like some Netflix and chill. It's gonna be real life situations. How certain women are going to be in league with the men of the Lord to fulfill prophecy. Okay, this is a whole new world that we are now entering. All right. This is a whole new world that we are entering. And a lot of our people are here playing. You got a lot of Israelite women that are playing, being promiscuous, going from camp to camp, man to man. I've seen it when I first came in. Okay. When I first came in, Learn the Truth 2016. All right. There was multiple women that talked to multiple men on social media. And y'all better not be doing that. Okay. You Israelite women out here, you now coming into the fold, you better not be doing that. All right. You better sit down. You better understand the severity of this. The Lord is not the author of confusion. Don't be causing confusion. This is a very big eye opener. This is Ezekiel 21 and 11. It says, and he has given it to be furbished that it may be handled, Jacob's trouble. This sword is sharpened and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. See that? So Esau is going to be able to get his hands upon Jake in Jacob's trouble. All right. Only to a certain level, only to a certain degree. So now that the smell of judgment is in the air, eyes are starting to open, ears are starting to be attentive. Our people are starting to see the bigger picture on a small scale, while the majority is still lost in the sauce. This is why it's called Jacob's trouble. Okay. You have to truly understand that. All right. And this is coming to pass where a man of the Lord is going to be more precious than fine gold. Okay. Carrying and conducting ourselves with faith and wisdom and that knowledge to be stable. A little more. Let's see what else.
They would have bet that man at the dough.
Of course.
And I'm just saying I could die on a hill by myself with this one. But at the time, women start being these damsels in distress and start taking value of what it is to have a man in the house. Because to be straight up, it would have been a man between that.
And let me just say this. That's the truth. And she should be saying that. Okay. We're not going to knock you for saying that. All right. But at the end of the day, we also know that there are 2/3, which consist of men, women, and children. All right. We can use Jeremiah 16, even though in context that's Babylon. But we know that that judgment like that is going to happen again because we see it in Ezekiel, the 9th chapter. All right. But we are entering a time where not everyone that is, acknowledging that is also going to be accepted. This is Jeremiah 15 and 2. And it shall come to pass if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for captivity to the captivity. So the best thing to do now waking up, okay, is to repent in the name of Yahweh Shai for remission of sin, and continue to call on Yahweh Shai while he may be found, because things are increasing and it always happens with judgment. All right. Jake will get in line pertaining to judgment. So now as judgment is starting to catch wind more, you smell it more, you see it more, you hear it more, it changes your tune of your everyday thought process of how you carry and conduct yourselves. And so much now that you're seeing a vibration of woman acknowledging the presence of a man and the importance of that. But what you have to understand, which is true, but in these days, what's most important is going to be the presence of a man of Yahweh Shai. Okay, you see that? Because we're up against the world like Yahweh Shai. More, let me get this. More precious than fine gold. Woo, man. It says saviors will come down from Mount Zion. This is Isaiah 13 and 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Therefore, I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place, and the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. You see that? So the Lord is going to make the Israelite man more precious in the sight than you stumbling across gold. In Jacob's trouble, you could see gold, but what's gold going to do for you when bullets are whizzing, water's not running, food is not on the table, okay? You're asked out, nowhere to live, can't start a fire. You're going to look at this man of Yahweh Shai more precious than what's desired as gold in modern day and time. All right. You see that? So I just wanted to touch on this topic. I just came across this video. I believe the point was made. And then also you just had this current, this just happened, or just the body cam footage was just released to the public. Okay. And, the title came to me, Jesus is not coming, Jake. And, there's some precepts that came out, and it's just true. In these last days, a lot of eye-opening things are going to happen. Prophecy always opens the eyes of the masses. And now reality is showing what's important. See, that's what happened to us learning this truth. We now have been able to prioritize what's important in our life on our day-to-day. And that's what? This truth, this knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding, because this is what we're going to need through the faith in the name of Yahweh Shemel Shai to Adawan Ratazah, Lord willing, endure unto the end to be delivered. Because great judgment is coming to Babylon, and you got a lot of Jakes. You got a lot of Jakes in Babylon, for Babylon, and they're going to go down with the ship. What's that say? They that uphold Egypt. Watch. It's going to get real out here. And we're also going to be looked at as enemies, but that's okay. Ezekiel 30:6, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, they also that uphold Egypt shall fall. See that? So we're getting ready to witness a great fall. Okay. Of course, Esau, but you're going to have 2/3 of Jake fall right along with Esau and Babylon. All right. So they want to rise up and vote for her. Well, when World War III come, there better be a company of 44,000 so-called black women galvanized in military formation to defend this country and this standing government that has the quote unquote best interest for you, but not your male counterpart, the Israelite man. Complete slap in the face. So Jake men are waking up too. Jake men are waking up to the so-called black and brown woman as well as, and waking up to the whore of Babylon. So we are in a great time of an awakening. And I just got to get Daniel 12. It's just been ringing in my ear this whole lesson. So I'm going to get that. I'm going to end it there. I didn't want to make this too long, but it is an eye opener, and it's showing you on one hand, majority is off, and on the other, prophecy will open the eyes of those that the Lord is allowing. Okay. Daniel 12 and 10, many shall be purified and made white and tried. We're being tried right now, but the wicked shall do wickedly. See that? 400. It went off, but you saw it. I've been posting it. 444,000. This, but they're going to keep being wicked. So what are we here to, you're just going to get rebuked. You're going to get prophesied against. Shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. So now we are witnessing who is having forms of wisdom or understanding or knowledge because of what's going on around them. And they can see what's the bigger picture for their betterment in these last days. And that's what it's about. Okay. Because a lot of people are going to get caught up in their own self-indulged lust. And that's going to be the end of them. And the slayer is going to meet Jake, man. The slayer is going to catch the sheep, and they're going to catch him by surprise. So I just wanted to do this quick lesson. I pray it was edifying. I pray it was comforting as well. Okay. Continue to have faith and call on Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right. And this is our job, So, with that being said, call halal, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to my elders and apostles, a great millstone that do well. Peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopeful elect in 1/3. And Lord's will this lesson is edifying and well as exhorting. With that being said, shalom.